sabotaging your ass. Greetings, Weavers. My name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Yeah. And so, I'm here. I'm here. We define gravity today. What's that mean? Y'all right the fuck up in here too, ain't you? Shit. Listen, I was struggling. So this isn't gonna be a very long live because I'm actually gonna go volunteer today. There's a whole host of events that are happening today to support those who have been impacted by the fires. The fires are still going in some places, but there have been a lot of organizations and businesses and all kinds of institutions that have been working overtime to provide support for people who've been impacted by the fires. So I'm gonna go volunteer at a couple of events today. So I'm gonna do this part one. I'll be honest. I'll be frank. I'll be honest. I still feel. I don't know. Like I hear y'all. I know y'all are all excited about it. I feel kind of fucked up, honestly. I'm doing this live today. About this movie in the midst of what is like straight up chaos in this bitch. I don't know. I felt some kind of way. I went to taking notes last night, and I was like, "There's so much going on in the world. There's so much immediately going on all around me." I'm like, "Is this like the best use of my time? Is this, the most appropriate use of my time?" But I'm gonna do it. I don't have an attitude about doing it or anything like that. It's something I've been looking forward to doing. I don't know. I was feeling some kind of way. So that's my admission. All right. Plus, I'm tired. We didn't get off the call last night until what, 1:30ish. I didn't go to bed until 4. So I'm struggling, y'all. I'm struggling. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully, I do not know why my freaking lips have been so chapped the last week. I never get chapped lips. So now I need to be doing a self-diagnosis about what the hell is going on with my lips. Like a facial diagnosis or something. Anyway, All right, let's go. I'm gonna tell y'all. This shit here, this damn movie, not just Wicked, like the whole thing. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I think all of y'all know, but just, for those that might be tuning in some other time or don't know what the hell I'm talking about. My name is Cassandra-Floyd. I'm the founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Every once in a blue moon, I will get pressured into, or I will catch a wild hair to do a very thorough breakdown, analysis, review of some movie. It's been a very long time. Still saying that my connection is unstable. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? I think everything is closed. Okay. I hate my neighbors. And I mean, just what I say. I don't say hate often. I hate my neighbors. They're the rudest human beings I've ever met. Okay. All right. Okay. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, for those of you who haven't tuned in for a while, for those of you who it may be the first time you're ever tuning in, my name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. Like I said, it's rare. It's something that I would like to do. I've said this in the past. It's something that I would like to do more often, but it's not something I'm going to do more often if I can't get paid to do it. That's just not going to happen. The kind of work that it requires, and I don't have a team, and all I'm doing is I don't have all the cute little I watch other people's movie reviews and they've got cute little clips. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm not going to learn how to do all of that until I have a team that's ready made and can do all of that shit. It's just going to be me taking notes and talking to y'all about the movie. Eventually, I would like to have all the cute little shit, in the corners of the screen and little play clips that I can walk y'all through. Until I had that, this is what you get. And it takes a long time. It takes too many hours to be doing the kind of deep dives that I do with movies. So it's been a long time. It's been well over a year. It's been well over a year since the last time I did a movie review. I would like to eventually have a whole separate channel. Yeah, like a whole separate channel that's just me doing movie reviews. I've already got the name for it. I call it Watching Between the Lines, right? Don't bite my shit, yo. Just don't bite my shit. Where that's all I do on that channel. That channel, boom, Watching Between the Lines, movie breakdowns, you know what I'm saying? How to watch between the lines, how to decode, break down, analyze, what have you, what have you. So this is going to be the first review I've done in a long time. It has been requested several times. Tajali keep kicking my ass about this damn movie review. So I am going to do a part one today of this movie review. The movie is the movie Wicked. Now, just some prefaces. First of all, I had never seen the play. It wasn't on my realm of shit that I needed to do in my life. There are huge uh, enthusiasts for the play. I have not read the play. I had not seen the play. And so when I saw the movie, it's the only thing I saw. There are several approaches that I want to take with this movie. I'm going to start with the movie itself. Today, I'm going to start with the movie itself and some things that I thought was important to draw out. And the part two, I think I'm going to start with the history and some controversial facts about the author and about the time period in which he authored the Wizard of Oz. which ended up being The Wizard of Oz actually ended up being a 14 book series when he authored the book, plural. And in the third one, I will talk about the cultural, the 100-year cultural impact that The Wizard of Oz has had that you may not be aware of, which I found extremely interesting. The number of movies, the different movies that use as its basis, or kind of like its foundation, The Wizard of Oz. And unless you know that, you miss it. It's like there in plain sight, but unless you know that, and then it's drawn out, you're like, holy shit, oh my God, yes, right? So that's how I think I'm going to approach that. And as a 3-part series, I'm not devoting any more than that in terms of time. Although my neurotic ass brain would have me do that. Because I will just share this. Yeah, I started yeah, like I be going a little bit deep. Like you remember when I did the movie review for Suicide Squad, and I was actually starting to do a movie review about the Matrix, and I was like, okay, well, the obvious most culturally impactful moment is the red pill or the blue pill choice. I went into this damn 6-hour wormhole about the history of the duality of red and blue, a 6-hour wormhole about the duality of red and blue. So when I actually started doing this movie review for Wicked, her skin is green. So I was like, what's the history of green? What's the significance of the color green? Is there, an occult? Is there an occult significance of the color green? Like, why are witches historically seen as green? Or, you know what I'm saying? That shit got kind of deep. That shit got kind of deep, deeper than I anticipated. So I was like, you know what? Let me pump the brakes on the green shit. I might have to include it in one of the reviews, but there was a lot there, you guys. There was a lot there. Yeah, was it Osiris that was? Yeah, it's Osiris that was green. Yeah, that's in there. Yoda was green. You feel me? So are Glinda and Elphaba the witches from The Wizard of Oz? I'm not familiar with Wicked outside of this film. Yes, Elphaba and Glinda are two of the two main witches from The Wizard of Oz. Glinda, the good witch, and Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the East. I believe the Wicked Witch of the East, or the Wicked Witch. I think the Wicked Witch of the West. The Wicked Witch of the East was her sister, and she got killed when Dorothy's house fell on her. You feel me? So yes. So yeah. Aaron. Yeah. So yeah. So the green witch thing was a thing. All right. So let's go. All right. So for those of you who have not yet seen the movie, spoiler alert, obviously, because I'm doing a thorough breakdown of the movie. So um spoiler alert. Let's see what y'all talking about over here. I saw her as the personification of the heart chakra. Yup. The heart chakra is green. Yes. Ginger root tea. Thank you. All right. So, okay. So just right out. So first of all, if you haven't seen it and you intend to see it, you don't want to watch this. You want to come back to it after you've seen it. If you don't mind the spoilers, stick around. Okay, so the first thing that you should know is the movie Wicked. For those who don't know, the movie Wicked is based on a play called Wicked that is a retelling of the story of the witches in the Wizard of Oz. Okay, so the intention of the play was to tell the story of the Wicked Witch from her perspective about how she became wicked. Okay, this is a theme that's been happening a lot over the last 20 years ish, 25 years, where there's been a lot of retellings, kind of like from a feminist perspective of these characters, like for example Maleficent. I don't know what year Maleficent came out, starring Angelina Jolie. That's another one we should totally do. Maleficent came out, and it was a retelling of the story of Maleficent, who was supposedly a witch, the bad guy, if you will, of Sleeping Beauty, of the Sleeping Beauty movie. And she is responsible for having cast the spell on Aurora. Because, and the thing is that the story was told as in a way where it's told in a way where it's like she was being a typically petty bitch because she didn't get invited to the party. So because she didn't get invited to the party, she gonna cast a spell on the baby to make the baby fall asleep for forever. You feel me? And so Maleficent is a retelling of the story that tells why she, quote, became evil, right? We saw the same thing with 101. I think it wasn't called 101 Dalmatians, but it was about the movie 101. It was about 101 Dalmatians, and it was about Cruella de Vil and how she became Cruella de Vil, like the series of unfortunate events that created this, quote, bad guy, nemesis, evil person called Cruella de Vil, right? And I fuck with that. I fuck with the stories, the retelling. Samara says, why y'all eating my jacket? Like, what part of the game y'all just be doing the most? Samara says it's all the heroine's journey. I like that. I like that assessment, right? So anyway, ooh, I'm about to lock these bitches up because as soon as I get started, they want to turn up, and they do it every time. Ugh. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so that's the preface, right? Is that this is like those other stories that are being told over the last 25 years or so, from the perspective of the female characters, to give some depth about why or how they became who they became famous for being. Okay. The movie adaptation of the play, which is about 20 years old now, the movie adaptation of the play was released on 11/22/2024. 11 November 22nd, 2024. I mentioned this before in a previous live that I did because it was released 3 days after the big ceremony that we did up on Mount Washington to welcome the reunion of Shango and Oya. Pluto entering Aquarius. Let me go put them up right now because it pisses me the fuck off. Shit, stupid ass. between my cats and my neighbors. Freaking, ugh. Let's see. They hard-headed as hell. Little rambunctious chumps. We ain't gonna keep doing this. Straight up. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay. I'm a plant mama. I'll come visit y'all pets. Child, listen. I ain't lying, y'all. These two stay doing the absolute most. Stay doing the absolute most. Don't matter how many toys they have. Don't matter how many ways I try to appease them. They just want to stay doing the most. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to tell you. I did not. Y'all don't be sad. When next thing y'all know, I done found these dudes a new home. I'm just trying to be real with y'all. I love them, but I did not. I do not want to be no mama again. And they are like full-time job, like toddlers. I'm telling you. Plus, I want to be traveling this year. I'm like, am I really gonna be able to travel as a cat mom to two rambunctious, tear everything to fuck up cats? No, I don't need no more cats. I'm like, who just said that? Queen Bee? I need to be a plant mom. They cute. Give them to my homegirl or something. Come visit them. You know what I'm saying? Be a foster mom from afar. But I'm trying to tell y'all, I will not have them. I will not have them by the end of the year. I'm just letting y'all know because y'all done grown attached and shit. They cute. They squishy. Y'all can have them. I got to find them a home, child. When I tell you they take up so much time and I work so much from home. God is wild. Let me tell you what happened. I've always had cats, but I've always had children in my house. I was like, oh, cats. I miss having cats. Let me get some friends and let me get two just so they won't be lonely. I forgot. The entire time that I had cats, I had kids. That was the missing ingredient. You feel me? I forgot. So I was feeling all super nostalgic. You understand? My homegirl, her cat had a cute ass litter. I was like, oh, I want them all. I want them all. Cute little squishy babies. She gave me two, a brother and a sister. The two Negroes y'all know is Storm and Tempest. And baby, this shit is a full-time job. I don't know who said cats was easy. They just do their own thing. They the easiest pets to. No, it is lies. It's lies straight out of here. Surely is. Aaron says, a little squishy baby, famous last words. Oh my God. My homegirl told me, the girl that gave them to me, she was like, well, you know, if you decide that you you know, you need to get rid of them. If you decide you don't want them anymore or whatever, if you decide they're too much to take care of, just give them back to me. And this was maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, girl, get out of here. These are my babies. They still my babies. But I'm going to have to call my homegirl and be like, we going to have to share custody. And that shared custody is basically going to be, they're going to be in your custody, and I will come and visit every now and again. That's it. I cannot do it, especially if I'm talking about traveling this year. I can't do it. I can't be a cat mom. I can't be a cat mom. I ain't got it in me. I've always had children. I have always had children. Hell yeah, co-cat parent. Hell yeah. That's a thing out here. I don't know if y'all know that. That's a thing out here. People co-parent cats. People co-parent dogs out here. That's a real ass thing. As I'm going to be like, homie, we going to have to go ahead and take you up on your offer. You feel me? Let you come and get these little cheering. You feel me? And then I will just come and play with them every once in a while and squeeze on them so they don't feel like I have abandoned them as a mother. You feel me? They can't be up in here. I can't. When I tell you I cannot get shit done, every time I go to do something, whether it's art or whether it's filling a jewelry, or it doesn't matter whether I have to sit and write and study, I have to factor in how much time they are going to require of me. How many times they gonna get in my way. I can't do it. Can't do it. That's my diatribe. I haven't said it out loud. I'm like, maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe I just don't need to be a parent. You feel me? Why would I get rid of my kittens? I can't feel guilty about that shit. Child, it's called knowing your limitations. And I am limited. Okay? I sat there and thought about that. I was like, cats were never this hard to take care of. I done had 2 cats at a time. Like, why I'm tripping? I had children. They were the buffer, my kids. I didn't have to clean the litter box. I didn't have to feed the kittens. It was a game to the kids to do all of that stuff. They could tag team the cats. Everybody wanted to play with them. Even my ex-husband, 6'5", cold black, hated cats. Hated cats when he moved in. I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck you gonna do, bro, because I ain't getting rid of my cats. So, like, you just gonna have to make it work. You feel me? Next thing you know, I come home from school. He's sitting on the front porch holding Fat Boy in his lap. Just, they chilling. You feel me? So I had a whole crew that could do the thing. Not by myself, not up in here. I'm not trying to be a parent again. I did that. I served my time. I did my bid. I raised a whole human that I gave birth to and part-time humans of other people. I did my bid. I get it. Some people made for this shit. I ain't. That's my diatribe. I'm done. Anyway, I have to edit all of that. See, I don't think I'm evil people talking about giving my cats up for adoption. Anyway, okay. Am I gonna go that deep? Not right away. We're gonna keep the. Yes, I did my bid. I served my time. Okay, I paid my debt to society by creating a whole human that now pays taxes. Okay, just saying. All right. So the movie was released on 11/22/24. All right. Yes. Okay, so I did a live maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't even remember what it was about, but I talked about the opening scene. Not even the opening scene. It was the opening monologue for Wicked, which I found really interesting given when it was released and what we've been talking about. The opening monologue says something to the effect of, I didn't write it down verbatim, but melting at the 13th hour, the time dragon clock, right? Is the direct result of a bucket of water thrown by a female child. That was the opening monologue, black screen opening monologue. And I talked to y'all about how interesting it was that was the monologue. Of course, the monologue is a reference to the end of the saga, which is when Dorothy kills the Wicked Witch by throwing a bucket of water on her, and the Wicked Witch of the West is like, oh, I'm melting, I'm melting. Uh-huh. I wonder. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's how the play opens. Then they have a huge dragon overarching the stage. Fascinating. Because there are no dragons in The Wizard of Oz, by the way. So fascinating. Let's see. I'm thinking the female child's water is the maiden's emotions. Well, QB, what we discussed the last time I talked about this is there are a couple of things just in that opening monologue. One, the direct result of a bucket of water thrown by a female child is Aquarius as female, as is Aquarius as the water bearer. Aquarius as the water bearer, right? That's the first thing that I thought of when I heard that, especially when she talks about melting at the 13th hour. The 13th hour is alluding to, in my estimation, I feel like I need to read the book because I haven't seen the play, but the 13th hour is alluding to the period of time, the matriarchal societies, when during the matriarchal societies, when time centered around the lunar cycles and not the solar cycles. And when time centered around the lunar cycles, you had 13 months with an equal 28 days per month, but also the clock itself had 13 out, was a 13-hour clock, and not a clock, but like timekeeping was different because the calendar was different. Cut it out. Hold on. What the fuck? Fucking weirdos. I do not know what's going on in the air today, but child, this shit is ridiculous. Does everyone know the ending before part 2 comes out? I don't know the ending. Like I said, I've never seen the play, so I don't know anything about part 2. What we're talking about is the first movie that just came out on November 22nd. Okay. But anyway, and so it talks about a female child throwing out a bucket of water. The other thing that I thought about was in the matriarchal societies, I think it was maybe Tajali that mentioned it a few lives ago. Was it Tajali? I don't remember who it was. It was one of y'all who talked about the fact that, and I said we were going to probably do a whole separate show on it because it's something I've been kind of obsessing over, the significance of the number 7 in mythology and in the occult, and particularly in matriarchal mythology, the 7 sisters being the seven heavenly bodies that can be seen with the naked eye before they were given masculine attributes and stories. Let's see. I don't want to see the play before part 2 comes out. Okay, there are some twists in the ending that could add some context. All I wanted to add, excited for the live. Yeah. So like I said, I may need to read the book before the next movie comes out. It doesn't come out until November of this year, but we're just going to talk about this first movie anyway. So that's the opening monologue, And also, when she talks about the time dragon clock, the movie was released in, I don't know. Again, I am just going solely off the first movie. I do not have a frame of reference about the second movie, about the play. Okay? So y'all have to rock with me where I'm coming from. I know y'all got some other insights because y'all have seen all the things, but I have not. This review that I'm doing is based on my understanding. I will try to get the book and maybe catch myself up for the additional context that y'all saying. I'm sure is going to be, helpful. But all the context is still based on the 14 books of the series called The Wizard of Oz. Oh wow, damn, I didn't know that, Samara. Isn't that is that theater the one on Hollywood Boulevard? Because I might just go. I might just go. She's saying that that they're showing it until February 2nd. I might just go. Let me check into that. I might just go. I might just go. Be in there taking notes. Anyway, so also the movie was released in the year of the dragon. So we're let's see, as of January 29th, we will be shifting out of the year of the dragon and into the year of the serpent. Yeah, the theater's still up. Let's see. So that's just the opening monologue. Huh. Okay, so there's a lot of things that I want to get into like deeply with this movie. One, the animal symbolism. I may have to actually go back. I may have to start. It's so difficult because even when I was watching the movie, yeah, you know what? Let me just keep it simple. Okay. Um Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna get complicated in this one. This one I will keep simple. I will keep simple. So let's start with my overall takeaway for the movie. The opening monologue to me was really revealing. It stood out. Okay. The first thing that I will say is like when they're talking in the very beginning about Elphaba's mother, right? And Elphaba's mother and how Elphaba became green. That her mama was wilding out in the streets. You feel me? Her mama was wilding out in the streets, having affairs, doing her thing. And they just say that she quote her mother drank a green drink. And this is what gave rise to Elphaba being born green. I don't know what the book or the movie, the book or the play has to say about that. But the first thing I thought about was absinthe, especially given like the time period that the books were written. Absinthe was very, very, very popular. And it was, it was an alcohol, but it was also a narcotic. I want to say it had opium in it. Don't quote me on that. But absinthe, that was what they said drove Edgar Allan Poe kind of crazy, was he was a big fan of absinthe. Absinthe was huge in the like, I guess, Industrial Revolution-esque era, like mid to late 1800s up through like the 1920s. And so that was the first thing I thought about, was they were saying she drank this mysterious drink that was green and it made baby green, right? keep trying to go back to this green thing because I took so many notes about it. But and I know it's significant. I have to create the web to make it make sense in my mind before I give it to y'all. Let's see. The hour has finally come for you to address Jeff and his wrongs in the movie. He was cute though. I know. Okay. Yeah. Even the quick search of absinthe. Interesting. Yes. Yeah. Absinthe was, it was all the rage, right? And everybody who was like, yeah, she talks about the bohemian decadence. Everybody who was an artist. As a matter of fact, do you remember the movie Moulin Rouge with Nicole Kidman? It was huge in its appearance in that movie. And that movie takes place, in the Industrial Revolution as it was unfolding in Europe. I'm an expert on the Wiccan musical and story. Love this. Okay, so Looney 28th. Looney 28th. 28, you may need to email me. So what I'm thinking about, you can help me as a weaver, like close in holes and gaps in what I'm thinking. You feel me? Email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. I need to be bouncing some ideas off those of you who have already seen the play and are obviously enthusiasts about that. Who, me? Do I want spoilers? I don't mind spoilers. Not for this. I don't mind spoilers. And Wormwood in Revelations and Lamentations. I don't get it. I don't get that reference, QB. What's that reference about the wormwood? Where does that come from? I don't get that reference. I'm writing it down, but I still don't get it. Oh, that's a good idea, Queen Bee. That's a good idea. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't realize that. All right. That's good to know. Because absinthe, let's see. She says absinthe is, I guess, like the base herb for fuck, that is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's the base herb for absinthe. Absinthe is green. Listen, y'all, I told y'all this green thing keeps coming up. So let me just go ahead and tell you. I know it's, at first I was like, this is far out. It's a stretch, but I just don't think it's a stretch. Okay, so let me tell you why I'm bugging. All right, because I was telling y'all I was going to go off on this green thing, but I'm going to save it for later. Let me just tell you. Let me just go ahead and give it to you. What I'm thinking. All right. All right. And I'm going to tell you why it's not a stretch. Let me just go ahead and say, I'm going to tell you why it's not a stretch. Because the guy, L. Frank Baum, who wrote the books, was an occultist. He was in the Theosophical Society, which was an occult organization that had relationships with, what's his name, Aleister Crowley, and all of these big occultists at that time, around the end of the turn of the century, around like 1975 on was when the occult became very, very prominent in society and borderline accepted. It was showing its face in a myriad of different ways. As a matter of fact, one of the other organizations that emerged around that time where the occult was so big was that organization I was telling you guys about, that the documentary fucked me up so bad, the Cult of I Am. All of these things, and they all had like connections to each other. They weren't separate. It's usually like somebody would join this organization and then they would have some differing ideas and be like, fuck this shit, I'm going to go build my own organization. And so on and so. And so that's how a lot of them emerged, was having initial relationships with organizations and then going out and doing their own thing. And so this guy had been won by his mother-in-law, who was also an occultist, to join the Theosophical Society. Now, why is this important? Why am I not tripping? Because at first I was like, I'm reaching, it's too deep, maybe it ain't that deep. But the thing about the occult, whether it's Kabbalah or Freemasonry or the Illuminati or any of that shit, any of these secret societies, the Rosicrucians, all of this shit, I am convinced that so much of what is like woven into modern like film, writing, music, is the retelling of ancient stories through a white world view hidden in plain sight. So when I'm always talking to you guys about 5 elements theory, you're talking about a system of medicine that's one of the 2 oldest, at least documented, where they weren't so easily accessible by imperialists that they were able to maintain a consistent written history of their medicinal practices. The thing about Egypt is that Egypt too had a very ancient system of medicine, but it was so central to this area of the world, Europe and the Mediterranean, where people were coming from all sides to clamp down on this beautiful place that was wealthy, and in the schools in Timbuktu and all of this brilliance that was emanating out of Egypt. It became a focal point for anybody looking to seize power. And so the first thing that these motherfuckers do is go into the place, steal what they can steal, take what they can take, burn the rest so that nobody knows the complete history. So when you're talking about systems of medicine that have a long-term, pretty well uninterrupted, documented system of medicine, Chinese medicine and Ayurveda is what we have, right? And so the reason I'm talking about this is when you talk about 5 elements theory in Chinese medicine, developed by the what do you call them? Here's a word that I'm looking for and I can't recall. Anyway, it was the system of Chinese medicine was developed by the farmers, by the people who were working the land, right? Recognizing the beautiful, ins and outs and the flows and ebbs of the natural world and their relationship to it as farmers. They were like, well, damn, if this is happening in our environment, then it must be reproduced in our own internal environment. This is how they come up with the sunny side of the mountain versus the shady side of the mountain, and how things look different on the side of the mountain that is mostly exposed to sun, and how things grow differently on the side of the mountain where it's mostly shady. You feel me? And so on and so forth. If a mainstream that is responsible for your what's the word? Cool. I can't even think of the word. But you have a stream that is you use primarily in agriculture to water your plants and whatever. If a boulder falls and backs up the stream, then you will notice, if you can't remove the boulder over time, all those plants that you are feeding from that stream will begin to, quote, dry up and get brittle and die. The streams become an analogy for the streams of blood. That's what they call them. You have the Jing wells, which are the points on your fingertips. This is a well. Like, they're actually talking about water sources and the personification of water sources. You have your Jing wells, right? Because a well is small, right? You have your Jing wells, your Shu streams, your Jing rivers, and your He seas, S-E-A-S, seas. It's like where the small goes and flows into the large, from the well to the stream to the river to the ocean or the sea, right? everything becomes a metaphor internally for what they were observing were the relationships that they had to the external environment. It was impossible for the nobility to develop these systems of medicine because they didn't have a fucking relationship with the environment, right? It was the farmers, it was the agriculturalists, there's a word that I'm looking for and I cannot even think about it. But anyway, this is the people who are accredited with coming up with the system of medicine. The reason I'm saying this is because sitting here listening to y'all tell me what you done Googled about absinthe and the herb wormwood that is the chief herb basis for this plant. And I have a whole list of notes about the significance of green and why this girl is green and what metaphorically this looks like is because these occultists read the same things that have existed for these 6,000 years. And every time you turn around, it's showing up in popular culture as just some great, brilliant, random idea that some white person had. No, it ain't. It's some shit they stole and they know you don't know it. And so everything seems new to us because we don't have access to the secrets kept by the occult. Secrets stolen from Egypt, secrets stolen from Asia, secrets stolen from India. And so I am convinced that especially Freemasonry and the Illuminati and all of that shit, and the reason it seems so mysterious is because this is information stolen by the European world. It was the whole basis for secret societies. It was the whole basis for secret societies is to make sure that nobody else on earth has access to this information we've stole primarily from the Egyptians, but from everywhere, that nobody else has access to this information. So we keep it. We read it, we study it, we emerge in the world as the brilliant, great thinkers and inventors of all that is, because we don't wipe clean the memory of other people's relationships to their own historical past. I'm just trying to tell you, because I'm sitting here like, okay, maybe I'm thinking about this shit too deep. The green is significant. I know it is, right? So the first thing was, as soon as I saw the movie, I'm thinking about why this girl green, right? Okay, yeah, her mama drank some absinthe, you feel me? Partying, turning up, whatever, you feel me? But green, even the original witch, when we watched the very first, which was produced in like 1933, they said it was the first time in history that a witch had been presented as green. That witch in the original Wizard of Oz was the first time that witches had been presented green, right? And so the color green, and she is the Wicked Witch of the West. She is the Wicked Witch of the West. Why is it significant? Because this image that I'm showing y'all all the time that I just told y'all last night, that everything on earth can be explained by this image. Everything. Let me turn these lights off because the glare on this is dumb. Maybe that helps. Here, let me turn off this one too. Everything can be explained by yin and yang and 5 elements. All right, there we go. All right. Okay, so the liver, the color of, as a matter of fact, let's look at this one. The color of the wood element, which is liver and gallbladder, the color of the wood element is green. It represents the season spring, which is governed by wind. This is governed by wind. Okay, so color green, liver, whatever. Wormwood, that's why I tripped out when she said wormwood. I didn't get the reference, and she was talking about how wormwood, let me go back, how wormwood is the basis of absence, but she started, because I didn't get the reference, wormwood in Revelations and Lamentations. So now, of course, I got to go look up that shit to add to my wormhole, you feel me? Wormwood is the basis of absence. Wormwood, yes, Aaron talks about that's in the mugwort family. Yes, it's what is used to make moxibustion, one of the primary treatments in Chinese medicine. But wormwood, its primary use, at least in Western herbology or Western botany, is it focuses as it's a dewormer. That's why it's called wormwood. It's an anti-parasitic that primarily focuses on liver flukes and parasites of the liver, which is green. which is energetically green. I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm not tripping. That's why I had to take a minute, right? Okay. The liver, God damn it, this fucking glare. The fuck? Ooh. Yo! These mother, I hate my neighbors. Ugh. Rudest human beings on earth, I swear. All right, so what's I saying? I don't know. I just did this where it wasn't no. Okay. Okay. Shit. All right. So, God damn it. All right. See if that works. This shit's crazy. Okay. Okay. So the liver, right? I told you is its color is green. It governs wood, the whole aspect of the wood, right? Which is deep. I won't go that deep, but the wood, it is the spring, but it also is represented as the west. The liver is green and it represents the west in 5 elements theory. It represents the west. Okay. What else? It also, remember I told you guys last night, because I was having a moment on the intro. I know this is seeming really disjointed. Just walk with me. I was telling y'all last night that the liver's mother is the kidneys, which is the water element. So when we talked at the opening about the girl who throws the bucket of water, a direct result of the water thrown by a female child, right? There was a quote in it that said, "Protect yourself, water will melt her," right? I was like, okay, what's going on? What's the basis for her? What's the basis for her melting by water? Right? And I started thinking about this relationship, this mother-child relationship between the kidneys and the liver, or the water in the wood. The water in the wood. There was something else. What else? Let's see what else. And then the herb that makes up the absinthe, which is green, is a liver herb. Because most of the occult is based on goddess worship. He was an occultist, yes. Okay, hold on just a second. Wind, Aquarius. She is green because she is meant to be of earth. If you look up what they did to make her costume, her dress is supposed to be of earth. The black dress shines emerald green to represent this. Or even Emerald City. Emerald City is green, right? Let's see. The dress has ruffles on it that are meant to represent mushrooms. If you want to do a neighbor banishing spell, I'm down because I hate my neighbors too. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is it with people who live in apartment complexes and act like they live in a house by their goddamn self? The shit is done. And I've done all kinds of shit. I have taken gifts up to them. I've actually talked to them to say, okay, look, I know it's not your fault, but just can you be a little bit more mindful at 4 fucking o'clock in the morning when you have to go to work about not wearing shoes in your bedroom and tap dancing in your bedroom as you're fucking getting ready for work? Like, put your shoes on as you're walking out the door. None of that. None of that. It's just, now it's just deliberately rude. You feel me? I've done everything to try to be, like the diplomatic, just rude. Shit is fucking stupid. Let's see. Yes, and I might have to be, I don't know these niggas' names though. You know what I'm saying? It's a male gay couple. Child, they stay doing the fucking most. Grown ass men. Like grown, like my age grown. Just rude for no reason. Let's see. If you look up, okay. Thinking Mother Earth is too simplistic. If you read the novels, he details green is the wind. Okay, so he is up on game about 5 elements theory and the esotericism that comes with 5 elements theory, the spirit, the spirit of these, so on and so forth. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to read the books. I lived on an acreage of land. There would be 2 black cats, a couple well-trained Rottweilers, birds in a saltwater aquarium of fish and other sea life, a horse, a few chickens, and 2 roosters. It's a lot. I'm impressed you're tackling it verbally. I'd have 13 notebooks full. Oh, it's getting there. Yes, the mother's stability is attacked by female child's rash emotions, maiden and mother conflict. So, Queen Bee, you bringing that up, I've talked at length. Now, I have some ideas, okay? Where 5 elements theory is concerned, the generating cycle, which I told you goes around, right? That's the generating circle. And then the controlling cycle, the controlling cycle follows the direction of the stars, right? And how the generating cycle is always said to be detailing the relationship between the mother and the son. It's called the mother-son relationship. And in this relationship, you've got not only the mother and son, it's called the mother-son relationship, but you've also got the grandmother. And it's interesting. I would like to dig a little deeper into this, but it's interesting that all the diagnoses are about the mother-son relationship, and sometimes the grandmother is implicated, right? But the water as mother and the liver as son, the liver, because of its rambunctious nature, the liver is one of the most volatile organs in 5 elements because it moves like the wind. Its attitude, it quickly shifts like the wind. You can go from happy to raging out of control in an instant. You feel me? These are people who we would call type A personalities, right? It's wind like, oh yeah, type of wind, right? But in Ifa, the liver is most associated actually with Ogun. Oya is most associated with, in 5 elements theory, Oya is most associated with the lungs. But anyway, it's just interesting that you mentioned that. Wait, hold on, y'all commenting too fast. Yeah, the when you're talking about the mother's stability is attacked by the female child's rash emotions. The mother, the maiden mother conflict, the created mother maiden conflict. And it's interesting because in Chinese diagnosis, you talk about there's a diagnosis called child rebelling or son rebelling, right? So, like if you have acid regurgitation, it is the son rebelling against the mother, causing the chi to go in the wrong direction. When you eat, you don't want it to go in the opposite direction. You want it to go down. When the chi rebels, it's a rebellion against the mother, causing it to go up. So if it's nausea, vomiting, or acid regurgitation, whatever, typically, even though it is obviously an earth symptom, it is the volatility of the liver. Let me show you here. Even though those are earth symptoms, acid regurgitation, stuff like that, food and substance going in the wrong direction because you're supposed to be digesting it. What's most implicated is not the mother, the fire. It's actually the wood element or the liver gallbladder, because the liver or the wood controls earth. The liver becomes too controlling, overacting on the earth, which is the grandson, and the grandson rebels, causing things to go and chi to go in the wrong direction, right? Too controlling, causing the son to rebel. Okay, let's see. So Elphaba is like Aja. She wants to save the animals. Yes. My neighbors received the email. I received what email? I have no issues or problems. What email? You got to put me on, because this shit has been fucking ridiculous. And I've been here 5 years. This has been an ongoing saga with these bitches. Let's see. My neighbors are up all night long, talking, laughing, having parties till like 6, 7 in the morning. Yeah, that shit is dumb as fuck, bitch. Especially with as much money as we pay to rent this fucking place. My rent's $23.50 a month, bitch. Like, I deserve for my fucking home to be my solace, not to be angry first thing in the morning because y'all motherfuckers is tapped. Y'all ain't got, after somebody done told you. It's different if ain't nobody told you. After somebody done told you, you still got your goddamn high heel shoes on, marching in a circle around the fucking bedroom. Fucking wearing green, wearing of green in the encyclopedia. See, we got, that's gonna be the next book. It's gonna be the encyclopedia of missing secrets. What else did we say last night? Oh, I gotta look up the thug shit. So green is in the encyclopedia, and the thug shit is in the encyclopedia. That's gonna be my homework today. All right, what else y'all talking about here? The fact they're probably stomping in outdoor shoes in their bedroom says enough for me. They're just being dicks. If I was down here with a penis and they ran the risk of me running the fuck up on them, ready to fight, it'd be a non-issue. I am convinced that if I was down here with a motherfucking penis and they knew that there was a potential for a nigga to come up there and beat ass, it would be a non-issue. I be telling y'all, like, just because a motherfucker is marginalized don't mean they still don't hate fucking women. Because it's not just me. Even when my grandbabies and my daughter was here, it was like just disrespectful. I'm like, and the motherfucker who is the main one, this motherfucker is a principal at an elementary school. I got babies down here. It's like, bitch, it don't even occur to you. Let's see. Aja is an Orisha who governs land and nature. This I need because I've been led to wear green for the last 3 years. Yeah, it's definitely a triangulation between generations. There is my favorite tree. I love sitting under with my feet on the earth. Yes. Yeah, I know it's expensive, child. But it took a literal act of the goddess to even get us a place to live. So I'm posted up. I ain't trying to go nowhere else. Plus my place is rent controlled, so they can't be raising my rent all crazy. You feel me? My rent's only been raised once in the 5 years I've been here. So like I ain't trying to like it would when I tell you it took us goddamn near 6 months to find a place to live in this fucking city. It's so racist here. It's so like I've never in my entire adult life had a difficult where it took more than 2 weeks to find a place to live. It took us 6 fucking months to find a place. Yeah, so I'm not being up out of here. You feel me? Don't know. And it sounds like a lot, but $2,350 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath is cheap in LA. It's dumb cheap in LA. Girl. And the problem is I don't know their fucking names, or I'd already done some ugly shit. You feel me? I don't know these niggas' names. You feel me? I'm like, okay, so what can I do? Because otherwise I just do some basic shit that I know work and work well. So now I'm like I'm trying to plot and scheme on what I can do without knowing these niggas' names. You feel me? Anyway. It's true, Goddess Y. It's true, boo. It's true. Just learned about hush harbors and I reflect on this community center. What's a hush harbor? Y'all be dropping all kind of and don't put no context whatsoever. I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see. Okay. What time is it, child? This is taking too long. Okay. So the green thing is a thing. It might have to be its own little piece. But as soon as I started thinking about, and then okay, so one last thing about the green thing. So in Chinese medicine, in 5 elements, the wood element is green. Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that. Shy Boy Shades. I like that concept. I like that concept. Okay. So the wood element is green. And so the spirit, so let me just talk, because I talked to y'all about the spirit of the kidneys last night. The spirit of the wood element is called the Hun. Let me pull out my little book. It's called the Hun, Hun, the Hun. And it's also known as I think it's the one that's known, let me not misspeak. I think it's the corporal soul. Jing Wells, let's see. Spirit of the Zong Fu. Yeah, here, the spirit of the Zong. All right. So, no, I was wrong. Okay, so the Hun is the ethereal soul. So the spirit of the wood element is called the Hun, or the ethereal soul. This is what it has to say. Like the Western notion of the spirit, it is most related to what we know as the Western notion of the spirit. When it is in balance, when the Hun is in balance, we have clear vision, we have clear goals, we know how to bring them into being. We excel at planning and decision making. You must avoid its wrath. It benefits from exercise and reading. Hun benefits from exercise and reading. The Hun, and so did I write it in here? Let me see. Because there's other attributes of 5 elements. Okay. Oh, yep, I did. Okay, so those are the spirits. But you also have what is known as the 12 officials of the emperor's court. The 12 officials. Queen Bee, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You can always give your moon blood to a tree. Absolutely, absolutely, 1,000%. No need to even question. Yes, you can offer your moon to the trees. Yep. So what you also have is what is called the 12 officials of the emperor's court. So the emperor is the heart, right? So every other organ, y'all can see this pretty well, right? Every other element, right? Because there's 12 channels. That's why it's the 12 officials of the emperor's court. Okay, with the with the liver and the gallbladder, or the wood element. The liver is also known as the general. In the emperor's court, the general sets the strategy. Its yang organ, which is the gallbladder, right? Its yang organ, which is the gallbladder, is the judge. It is responsible for decisions of courage and wise judgment. Courage and wise judgment. So it's said of the role of the liver and the gallbladder as the wood element is that the general, what does a general do in the military? He creates a battle strategy because he sees all the angles. You feel me? Like, he's like, okay, this is where the enemy is. They had no water come in a few days. He sees all the things. He sees all the scenarios, and he develops a strategy based on his keen view of the entire situation, right? This is the liver. The gallbladder, his yang partner, gives you the good judgment and courage to execute the strategy developed by the general, developed by the liver. So when you're thinking about a tree, okay, we call it the wood element. When you're thinking about a tree, you're thinking about the entirety of the tree. You are thinking about the unseen aspects of the tree, which is the roots, the branch system, and the earth, right? You're thinking about the roots. You're thinking about the stability and the strength of the trunk of the tree. And then the vision that we're talking about that the liver has, governing your actual eyes, ruling your third eye, right? Your internal and external vision. You're thinking about the plumage of the tree. You're thinking about the green of the tree, all the leaves. These are all the possibilities that are presented from strong roots and a strong core, right? And as a matter of fact, am I going to tell y'all this, or am I going to keep going? And what strengthens the tree, the reason that the wood element is governed by wind is because in the spring is when you have the most wind, right? If you have a healthy mother, right, water element, if you have a healthy rainy season, that is going to determine the health of the liver. The wind is what strengthens the liver. It's this tree, standing steady against the wind that strengthens the wood, right? All right. Okay. So, let me just tell y'all, this shit is so deep. Yeah, this shit is so deep. Okay. So, I'm not gonna get that deep on y'all. But anyways, we're still talking about the wood element. We're talking about the green. Why is the green significant, right? Spring is the rainy season also, right? Typically, in most places, spring is your rainy season. It's first. Yeah, absolutely. There was something I was getting to. Oh, the reason I started talking about the plumage of the tree, the wood as the general, having a grand vision of all the possibilities, all the angles, and creating a strategy around that. The gallbladder providing the courage and the good judgment to execute the vision of the general, right? is because that aspect, that plumage, that seeing the possibilities, the governing of the third eye is about the wisdom of the liver or the wood element. There's an inherent wisdom that comes with a healthy wood element. Okay. And so I am convinced that this is also the reason why green becomes like an attribute of other characters that are considered wise, right? So you have somebody mentioned, I mentioned earlier that Yoda is green, right? Um, the god Osiris is green, right? Um, um, there's something else, man. Finding. Mm-hmm. Oh, Emerald City. The Emerald City, right, is where the Wizard of Oz lives. Emerald City, and he, quote, rules Emerald City. As a matter of fact, in the movie, the curtain is green, right? Um, yeah, I don't want to get that deep, but yes. So the green is, let's see, so the water that melted her could be interpreted as bad or harsh judgment from her mother. It could be like this might, I like the idea somebody said earlier of this being a panel discussion of us pulling our heads together to like weed all the different angles, because it could be, because it's not an overbearing mother. So I will say this, that in Chinese medicine, they say that it is very difficult, almost impossible, for the kidneys to be in excess. The kidneys and the earth element, they're easily depleted. Them more than any of the other elements, they are easily depleted. The water element and the earth element, it is, they're saying, in Chinese medicine, they say it's damn near impossible for the earth element to be in excess, that it's always depleted, it's always, quote, deficient, right? Same with the kidney element, it's very, very difficult, because the nature of the kidneys is that the moment you are born, you begin to experience kidney decline, because the kidneys govern aging. The kidneys govern the aging process. It says that the kidneys determine how long you live, that once your kidney energy is depleted, you die. Once your kidney essence is depleted, it's like an inheritance. You can't add to the inheritance, right? The inheritance is what it is, right? All you can do is make withdrawals from the inheritance. So if you make major withdrawals, you deplete your energy faster. But if you have a source of income from somewhere else that makes it so that you can make tiny, withdrawals from your inheritance, this prolongs your life. What I mean by inheritance, I don't want to go that deep, but you have this concept of your pre-heaven essence and your post-heaven essence. Your post-heaven essence is provided from clean air, clean water and drink, and the food that you eat. If your post-heaven essence is good, clean air, plenty of fresh water, clean, nourishing drinks, you don't eat a lot of junk food, you don't drink no sodas, you feel me? Then it requires you to make very minimal withdrawals on your ancestral inheritance. Your ancestral inheritance, or your essence, is you get half your essence from your mom, half your essence from your dad. That's your inheritance. That's your lot in life. And if you come from, quote, good stock, meaning your parents weren't wild and out of control, you weren't conceived under the influence, you feel me, then you can have a very, very long life. But say you come from good stock, but you are born and your post-heaven essence is trash. You a little baby, they giving you Kool-Aid in a bottle, at 6 months old, you feel me? They start letting you drink sodas at 2 years old. You eat Cheez-Its all day and shit. Then your post-heaven essence is going to require that you make bigger withdrawals from your ancestral inheritance. Say you're in your 20s, you finally get free from your mama and them house, you feel me? So say your post-heaven essence when you were a child was very good. They fed you well, gave you good nourishing food, whatever. But you hated being at home because your parents was too strict or whatever, and you leave the house at 18 years old and you get out in the world and you want to experience all the things. You want to drink and you want to party and you want to turn the fuck up, or you go to college and you binge drinking on the weekends, studying, cramming till 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're repetitively doing this through your 20s, partying hard, drinking, using substance, not going to sleep at a decent hour. This is making major withdrawals on your genetic inheritance, theoretically shortening your life expectancy. Okay, so in response to what you just asked, you said, so does the water that melted her, could it be interpreted as a bad or harsh judgment from her mother? The reason I went into that is because it is very difficult for the kidneys to be in excess, right? So this whole concept of harsh judgment from the mother, typically the kidneys is going to experience a deficiency. If the kidneys experience a deficiency, then the kidneys cannot nourish the child, cannot strengthen and nourish the child. Let me think about this, because with a weak water element, and that's what I was kind of, you must protect yourself because water will melt her. Water will melt her. I have to think about this. I'm thinking that the water is harsh judgment from the daughter. I understand what you mean. Thanks for explaining that. Yeah, I still have to work with this relationship here, because again, just from a philosophical perspective, it's rare for there to be, quote, an overflow of water, right? That would be a harsh judgment. The overflow of water, the water injuring the child, the mother injuring the child, quote, killing the child, the overflow of water. But philosophically, because of the nature of the energy of this primordial water, the water is weak. It's rare for the water to be in excess. Typically, the water element is deficient. So I have to think about this one. I have to think about that, because I get where y'all going, and I think y'all get where I'm going. But this green thing, it could be a whole thing. It could be a whole symposium. It could be a whole panel discussion. So it's 129. All right, so let's talk about. So I'm stuck at the mother maiden crone thing. Absolutely, yes. So that's the other thing that I was saying, is that in this theory, the cycle is, quote, the mother-son cycle. But I am wondering if, because China too was imperial, China too was fucking patriarchal, you feel me? And so I'm wondering if the origin of this medicine talked more about the relationship of the of the mother and the daughter, or whatever. Let's reel this shit back. Okay, so the movie. Let's just talk about some easier things, because we all can obviously deep dive heavy into the esoteric occult symbolism of this thing, and we should. Maybe this should be a thing that we do as a as one of our our temple studies, so that I'm not talking in one direction trying to read y'all comments. We can actually be talking in a conversation about this thing, working out these complicated ideas. Well, if you look at the wizard as God the Father and Elphaba as the mother, it could be seen as harsh punishment from the daughter, as the daughter is turned away from the mother and is more identified Potted plants can drown or get root rot with too much water and not enough air. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to make this the basis for a temple study. We gonna do this deep dive together. You feel me? But anyway, so let me just reel this in because we can keep going. Let's reel this in. The movie itself. So let me give you my very basic review of the movie, right? My review of the movie was that it was cute, right? The review of the movie was cute. It was cute. My That's my assessment. It was cute. It was too long. I don't know nothing about the play, but they could have done what they needed to get done without missing any major points in an hour and a half. That movie was too long. That movie was too long. So this is just my general review status. I found myself, again, without a frame of reference because I haven't seen the play and I haven't read the book, I found myself perpetually frustrated by the relationship that developed between Elphaba and Galinda, right? And it's interesting because hearing several content creators, both black and white, talk about their experience with the movie, worldview is a hella thing, y'all. Worldview is a hella thing. When you're talking about, like, when I told y'all about one content creator that I saw, a young black man who talked about this movie from the perspective of something about white feminism, like exposing white feminism in this movie. That was the basis that he did his review of the movie. I thought it was excellent. He came to great conclusions. I get it. That's what everybody was saying, that every song had to be up in there, but the shit was too long. And I'm not the only one that said it. I think damn near every single content creator that I saw doing their review, they were like, the shit was too long. It was good. It was funny. I loved it. It was great. The shit was too long. To me, it was too long, right? That's just my opinion. Y'all asked for it. I'm giving it to you. The shit was too long. Okay. So anyway, the guy talking about this movie from the perspective of white feminism, and then I saw this white content creators, thing, and worldview is a hell of a thing. Whiteness is a hell of a drug. Whiteness is a hell of a drug. It will literally fuck up your worldview. I was listening to this content creator talking about that moment where love developed, friendship developed between Elphaba and Galinda. That moment that was so amazing, where friendship developed between Elphaba and Galinda. I said, what moment was that? When that happened? Exactly when did that happen? Did I miss something? Did I get up and go to the kitchen during the movie or something? When did that happen? And she talked about the moment where Galinda starts to dance with Elphaba on the dance floor. Girl, Queen B or QB, listen, I said, so in an instant, when I had a client, as a matter of fact, a woman that I was treating, and we were talking about the movie. She was like, it just made my heart so big. I said, really? She was like, yeah. She was like, it was such an interesting thing to see, to witness when they became friends and how their relationship changed. I said, wow. I said, I missed that. I'm talking to a client. I was like, wow, I missed that. She was like, well, I've seen the play many, many times, and so you don't have like the frame of reference. So it doesn't seem that deep to you, but just knowing what happens I was like, okay, well, just based on what I saw, I said I was very frustrated because everybody kept talking about, quote, how they started out as friends. But from the opening scene through to the end, all I saw was a very insidious and strategic weaponization of white femininity. From the opening scene to the end, how there is never this, there is never, what's the word I'm looking for? There is never a question of the inherent goodness of Galinda. Nowhere, not in one scene in the movie does anybody ever even question the inherent goodness of Galinda. And that inherent goodness of Galinda is afforded her solely on the basis of her wealth privilege and her presentation in the world. That's it. I cringed when she said best friends. After telling her she wasn't as powerful as she thought she was while trying to thwart her attempts to get free. That was just Galinda doing damage control because she fumbled the bag. I was ready to fight, deception perceived. Laugh out loud. That's how they moved through the whole world, violently and disingenuous. Two witches represent the duality of women. The wild woman is Elphaba, and Galinda represents the woman that wants to be at home being taken care of by a man. Galinda worships the hierarchy. Fierro doubts it. Told her she was good at what she did with the Munchkin dude. The film is trying to portray for two extremely different women to work together to bring down the hierarchy that is clearly an illusion. Two parts of the same woman in odds with her identity. I don't know about that. I am tending to lean towards the young black man's assertion that I'll tell you what I feel. And I love that young black man's assertion. I'll see if I can find the video. He said, but this was a prime example of the inherent wickedness of how white femininity moves throughout the world. Right? That scene where, and just like this white woman was like, oh, that scene where she sees that Elphaba is dancing by herself and everybody's laughing at her. And so in that moment, she feels empathy for her. And that's why she goes to dance with her, is she feels empathy for her. That's what you got from that scene? This is the white girl I'm talking to. That's what you got from that scene? Is that Galinda felt empathy for Elphaba because everybody was laughing at her. And so she didn't want her to feel awkward. So she went to go dance with her. That's what you got from that scene? That's what you took away from that. Not that in the very previous scene, just minutes before, when a homeboy was in the room and they was getting ready for the dance, her homeboy was like, ooh, this hat, girl, this is atrocious. The fuck? Right? And she was like, child, my grandmama gave it to me. He was like, why? She was like, whatever. First of all, who was her grandmama? Who was her grandmama that gave her a big, tall, black ass witch's hat? Who was her grandmama? I want to know. You feel me? And he was like, you need to give this away or something. And she was like, I would not give this. She said, I can't think of anybody I hate enough to give this hat to. That's what she said. She said, I can't think of anybody I hate enough to give this hat to. Next thing you know, her roommate walks into the room. And she's like, oh my God, I have the perfect addition to your outfit for the dance tonight. Seconds before, I can't think of nobody I hate enough to get this hat to. And so you mean from getting dressed to going to the dance, she developed some empathy for Elphaba, and that's what made her go on the dance floor? Whiteness is a hella drug. It fucks up your entire ability to have a decent worldview, to have a deep and analytical worldview. That shit tripped me out. To see, y'all just do it yourselves. Just go through 2 or 3 each. 3 black content creators and 3 white content creators on how they felt about the movie. Worldview is fascinating to me. This girl was wicked from the opening scene to the closing scene, and her wickedness didn't change. Her wickedness didn't change. There was no growth because growth is impossible in those that are inherently wicked. And what I mean by wicked, what did Barbara Moore say in The Great Cosmic Mother? Barbara Moore said, evil is that which prevents the emerging of the one. Evil is that which prevents the emerging of the one. The emerging of the one within, evolution, right? The emerging of the mother. She said evil is anything that prevents the emerging of the one. That's what she said. That's what evil is. You feel me? And so this girl, diabolical monstrosity that she was, and not just in this movie, because there are several content creators that have done breakdowns of the original Wizard of Oz and saying we had it all wrong all along, that the true bad guy in the movie, the actual bad guy in the movie, was Glinda the Good Witch, because here she was, she gaslights this young girl in this foreign land to go kill one of her arch enemies, to kill the witch, to kill the Wicked Witch of the West, as she has created this storm that allows Dorothy's house to smush the quote Wicked Witch of the East, steals the bitch shoes, her body ain't even cold yet, steals her magic shoes, puts them on Dorothy, tells Dorothy, now you got the power to go kill the other Wicked Witch, you feel me? And so you got to go to the Wizard of Oz to get what you need to kill the witch. And the Wizard of Oz is like, you need to kill the witch, and then I can send you home. So everybody is exploiting this child, you feel me, to get what they want. The wizard gets exposed by Toto. Toto is the only one. Everybody's scared, whatever. Toto is like, something rotten in Denmark. Now, I may be the only animal in the fucking kingdom that can't talk, but I still know some shit rotten in Denmark. Let me go sniff this shit out. It's Toto that pulled the curtain back on the wizard to expose the fallacy that was the wizard. And so after it's all said and done, and she come back and she's like, so how I'm gonna get home? And she's like, all you gotta do is kick your heels 3 times, you can go back home. And she was like, damn bitch, why you ain't tell me that in the beginning? Because I needed you to snuff out all my competition. Now I'm here, the only motherfucker with magic in the whole empire. Now this shit mine. You going about your life, going back home. I got this. So everybody is doing these content, this content around the fact that, quote, Glinda the Good Witch was always the evil one. One guy even talked about how if you pay attention, it looked like Glinda was using her magic wand to cast a spell over Dorothy's head. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so y'all need to go see those. I'll try to find some of the links that I watched and post them in this in the description. There's something hidden when Glinda is singing the song Popular. She hands a pair of red shiny shoes to Elphaba, and she taps them together 3 times and smiles at Elphaba. Yeah. Also, here all of a sudden, because they didn't have a dance moment together. The other thing that was really interesting was that Elphaba, right, has courage when she comes to the school, right? She dressed how she want to dress. She don't care about what nobody else think about her. Like she got a little gangster on, right? She was trying to defend her sister. Like, that was the only reason she ended up in the school, was to protect her sister and to defend her sister, right? And so she got her little swag. I call that courage. Why? Because courage is housed in the wood element. She got a little courage. She got a little confidence. She got a little swag, right? Even when she go into the dance scene, she was like, "Oh, everybody gonna laugh because of my outfit. That's all right. Let me get up on this dance floor, take this shit up. Ain't nobody gonna come. That's cool. I got it." She on the dance floor, right? Seeing her confidence, seeing her courage, getting on the dance floor by herself, that is what drove Glenda to get on the goddamn dance floor. Is she noticed there was a moment where the energy went from laughter to like, oh, people were starting to see this bitch. And she was like, oh no, I cannot have all this attention on her. Let me go down too and grab some attention. Tell me I'm wrong, because even in the promotion of this movie, I have been perpetually, even in looking for images to use as a thumbnail for this movie, this fucking trope that has been exploited deliberately in the promotion of this movie, where Elphaba is the strong, black, big mama, maternal type that has to always, like, coddle and hold her hand, Ariana's hands, and and treat her like a child, a little whimsical, what do you call it, like dainty, fragile child. That's been Ariana Grande's entire career. Getting herself, first of all, that blackfishing bullshit she been doing, white girl that she is, that blackfishing bullshit she been doing. But then the other aspect is constantly surrounding herself by black women who treat her like a delicate flower. Thank you. Who said that? Goddess Why? Treat her like a delicate flower that they have to defend from the criticisms of these evil black bitches that would call her out for blackfishing. The whole tour that these two women have been doing, Elphaba is the one perpetually mistreated by this bitch in the movie. But in the tour, every time you turn around, Ariana's like, can you just hold my hand? Can I just lay my head on your shoulder? That fucking magical negress tropish shit, where we have to show up as the global big mama for everything. Even as this girl's goddamn character is a diabolical, monstrous, calculating, evil bitch who is obsessed with the acquisition of power, so much so that when somebody presents with natural gifts, she becomes the target. This woman becomes the target of Glenda. And there is this natural gift that she has, which is not just, quote, power or magic. It is her presentation. It is her confidence. It is her courage. It's the fact that she will dress how she wants to dress. That she'll take the little slidey ass comments. I came here for one reason only. That was to protect my sister, who's a piece of shit, right? Who is a privileged, what do you call it? A privileged colorist piece of shit. You feel me? Her sister, right? Elphaba was like, my daddy hate me. You feel me? He blames me for my sister's handicap. You feel me? And her sister is the golden child. Yes. And so it's like she's taking it from every angle, but she's still taking it like a G. She's still taking it like a G. She getting it from every angle, from a pappy, from a sister, from these weirdos at the school. And guess what ends up destabilizing that confidence? Guess what ends up having her question her own goddamn stilo? Her supposed friendship with Glenda. Yeah, everybody fell for Glenda's spiel. Like every reaction I watched, they thought she was being kind in their dance scene. But to me, she was always straight up evil and a leech. Yes, Sound familiar in your life, Black female body people? You understand? So here, Galinda, goddamn, another green reference. Here, Galinda functioning as an energetic leech on Elphaba. Galinda becomes Elphaba's kryptonite. That element that weakens her, that challenges her curve, that destabilizes her stelo. The fake friendship presented by Galinda becomes Elphaba's kryptonite. Yes, it does. It becomes a kryptonite. What is the first and that's what we get for taking white women at their word. I just want to be your friend. That's why I came on the dance floor and danced with you, because I just want to be your friend. That's all. I just want to be your friend. Not that you have an inherent power that I don't have and I am entitled to possess. And so I cannot afford for anybody to have the attention focused on you, even if it's negative attention. I can't have a whole room of people focusing their energy and their attention on you. So let me come up in here and invade this space that you have taken over confidently. Let me come and invade the space. So now that I become the center and you become an appendage of me. Then an Elphaba not clocking game because she like, oh, she want to be my friend. She want to be my friend. What's the next thing Galinda does? Oh, we're friends now? You need a makeover, bitch. Because the you that you are right now, I can't fuck with that. We can't be friends. That's the undertone. Is we can't be friends with you looking like you look right now. You can't do that. So what does she do? She attempts to whiten her up, to pink her up. That's another color we need to dig into. Because I was thinking about, what's that wicked bitch name in Harry Potter? The most wicked one of them all. What was her name? The most wicked one of all. And she always wore that ugly ass pink outfit with that ugly pink ass hat. What was her name, y'all? In Harry Potter. That old evil twisted face hag. Anyway, right? There's something about this pink shit historically too. That's something we can talk about on another day. But anyway, she had to pink her up. That you, the way you are, Umbridge, Professor Umbridge, Dolores Umbridge, thank you. That diabolical thing. You feel me? Donned in all pink. What do we call it? What Galinda did the whole movie. We got a word for it, black folks. We got a word for it, black folks. We got a word for it. What do we call it? We call it nasty nice. We always talk about how white people, white women in particular, have perfected the art of nasty nice. Nasty nice. Y'all ever heard that? Maybe it's a Southern thing. Where a bitch will smile in your face and have nothing but diabolical intentions. Oh, hey. We call it nasty nice. You understand? Yeah. That was her character the whole movie. Dolores Umbridge. That weird ass laugh that she always had. As she was doing the most diabolical shit. Nasty nice. So, oh, I got an idea. Let's have a makeover for you. Seeing Elphaba come into the school straight up in her swag, straight up in her power, unaffected, unmoved by the little cattiness and the laughs and the giggles of the others. Her energy wasn't off. Her energy wasn't down. She was like, bitch, I'm me. But guess what? under the feigned friendship of a calculating monster dressed in pink and flipping her blonde hair. This became her kryptonite. This is, you can see the moment in the little makeover musical aspect. You can see the moment in her eyes where she starts to question herself. Like, damn, maybe I do need to wear better makeup. Like, maybe I do need to do my hair different. Right? On Wednesdays, we wear pink. I know, what movie was that? Mean Girls. The movie Mean Girls. Yeah. On Wednesday, we wear pink. And everybody in the school was scared of them bitches. Why? Because they were wicked, diabolical, calculating monstrosities. But pink is like this disarming element that if you see a bitch in pink, she must be sweet. She must be nice. There's another movie that we need to get into where this is like blatant. Did y'all see the Disney movie the schools of good and evil? Did y'all see that? The School of Good and Evil. Lawrence Fishburne is in it. Several big name actors is in it. Oh, Shy Boy Shades. Shy Boy Shades. Shots fired. Yes. Yeah. Right. Did anybody see the movie The School of Good and Evil? It is a primary example. It is a primary. Go see it. It's on the Disney Channel. You have to see it. It is quite interesting. Also, the duality of the red and blue that I spent like 4 hours talking to y'all about. The duality of red and blue is in there heavy. The duality of red and blue, that whole the whole insidious wickedness behind the color pink, that's in there heavy. It's deep. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. That's a really good one. That one is worth a breakdown. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, she was monstrous, is what she was. This is the point where Elphaba gets weakened. Is in this feigned friendship with Galinda. Galinda. I think that's all I'm going to say about it because it's almost at 2 hours, which is 1 o'clock. And the place that I'm going to volunteer, it started at 1 o'clock. But I think I'm gonna round it out there. I know that's a terrible place to stop, but we can stop there saying that Galinda in this story represented the kink in the armor. She represented the kryptonite. She represented the Galinda was a psyop agent to make sure that Elphaba never reached her full power potential. You understand? Let's see. Somebody said pink is red, watered down root chakra. I have a theater degree, and my white female room from all white Maine frequently called me Elphaba and saw herself as Galinda. And yes, she was all nice nasty I still have PTSD from her. Baby. Sage Page. Is this what they say? Sage Page, come out in the room. Yes. Let's see. Even when she even tried to get me kicked out of the college. Ugh. That's that shit. That happened to me when I was in college. My first degree, my undergraduate, and actually happened in my grad program too. My undergraduate degree, this white woman, older than me, this white woman hated me. Ooh, she hated me. Just on GP, she hated me. And she went combing through my Facebook page. This happened twice, looking for something to quote get me expelled, and I got put on academic probation for quote having hate speech on my Facebook page. It was behavior unbecoming the institution or some bullshit. You understand? Yes, they're like fucking spies. They're like the unofficial fucking police for the state. It's just what it is. I just had a coworker who thought she would try that with me, dug her own grave. That's wonderful. I love to hear that kind of shit. That's all right. Constance, we gonna put her name in the pot too. Right? Yeah. So that movie and the fact that people's worldview is so emotionally defunct that the conclusion that you come to is it was so wonderful that moment when they became friends, when Galinda felt empathy for her on the dance floor and went on the dance floor with her. You could tell they loved each other. Child, goddamn. Child, goddamn. Yeah. So anyway, there's so much. There's obviously so much to dig into with this. This was fun. It was a little bit of a slow start, but this was fun. So, because there was so much more I wanted to say just about how I experienced. Yes, Elphaba drank the Kool-Aid. And then, even though it wasn't on her radar, the next thing she did was start pining away at the white girl man, the Prince Charming prototype. The next thing she doing is pining away, singing around corners, looking at her. He's not with me, or whatever the fuck she was singing. I was like, God damn. No, Elphaba, no, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. Don't give away all your juju, girl. You already let the girl too close. Don't give away the juju, girl. God damn. I'm not that girl. Oh my God. I was like, how long is this goddamn song gonna last? That shit just went on and on and on. Oh my God. You feel me? Anyway. Somebody said Elphaba drank the Kool-Aid. That's why the pick me moment, because she got caught up on the illusion of friendship, and the shit destabilized her. It was like taking a left hook to the jaw. You feel me? Somebody, Grace Jackson says, I think Fierro will surprise you in part 2. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. There is so much more. All the characters were quite revealing. What's her name? Can you do that off to the side, punk ass bitch? Man. What's her name? Michelle Yeoh's character. Yeah, there's a lot. I didn't even get to Jeff Goldblum. Child, Jeff Goldblum has for some time now had me in a constant state of despair. I'll be honest. No, I ain't talking about the cats. I'm talking about my punk ass neighbor. Madam Morrible. Yeah. Yeah, I might have to do a whole live on Jeff Goldblum only, because I'm gonna tell you the man has got me in a constant state of despair these days. Talk about when I was telling y'all yesterday that they gonna start plucking at your heartstrings via nostalgia. All these actors and actresses your ass done grew up with. I said I sent Tasha Lee an email. I sent a bunch of y'all an email last night about the 250 Jewish celebrities in Hollywood. And Tasha Lee was dismayed and bewildered, y'all. She was like, why are you gonna send me this bullshit after telling me to protect my kidney to protect my kidneys from shock? That shit that damn link, that link I sent last night. Jeff Goldblum, man. Yeah, but it's like it's not just this movie. It's this whole sequence of him as these god figures, in the Thor movie, as the god of a whole planet, in this fucking chaos series, him playing the diabolically wicked Zeus, you feel me, who kills the fates. It's like, and then on top of it, he's Jewish. It was never, I told y'all, Jewishness was never an issue. It was such a non-issue that of the 250 Jewish celebrities that I saw on this list yesterday, I was up in here choked. I was like, what? No, wait, what? What? So many people who fucking shaped our goddamn world view as children. I didn't know Harrison Ford was Jewish. How? I was like, wait, what? So many people on the list. I was like, who else on there that fucking choked me? I didn't know Joaquin Phoenix was Jewish. I didn't know that. Him and River Phoenix, I didn't know they was Jewish. I didn't know that. Who else? Damn, there was so many. Why did he have a black daughter in Jurassic Park too? Exactly. Who the baby mama? Why they ain't never allude to who the baby mama was, and why they just threw some random black child up in the movie? Like, why they did that? That always dismayed me, even though I love him in Jurassic Park. He fine as hell. His swag is crazy. You feel me? But I'm like, why they just threw that random ass black baby up in there like that with no frame of reference? No, like, let me go pick my black child up from my black baby mama, and that's the only scene she got in the movie. Nothing, just threw a random black baby in the movie. I was like, that's weird. Anyway, let's see. Tasha said, I'm still on my back. She ground me up. It was payback. That bullshit you sent me yesterday, child, that shit was payback. She sent me some bullshit with that girl. What's that girl name? What's that girl name? Tasha? You sent me that bullshit yesterday. Oh, damn, did he? I didn't know. I know he was talking to Elphaba, and he said something. He was singing some song about her being like a daughter he never had or some shit. But you saying what, in the play he actually had a black daughter? That's wild. In the book, it's in the book. Girl, Nell Carter, not Nell Carter. Oh, I know, girl. What? Girl, I was hollering. Reading through this list, y'all. If y'all want the list, let me know. I will email you the list of the 250 celebrities you did not know was Jewish. Nell Carter is on the list, child. I said, what the what? What? Yo, child. The list had me subdued, child. Had me up in here cradling myself, rocking myself. You understand? Damn. Okay. Grace Jackson says, oh, yeah, Elphaba is the wizard's daughter. It's the theme of the father taming and siphoning off the daughter again. Yeah, that's a huge spoiler. I didn't know. But yeah, Princella. That's what it was. Yeah. Tajli sent me some bullshit yesterday about Princella. I'm like, girl, why you keep sending me this shit? Don't be sending me no more shit about this girl. And then she had to redeem herself by sending me a whole bunch of cute little cat videos and shit. Send me no bullshit. There's bullshit by that weirdo. You feel me? So anyway, and so I guess that was my. It wasn't intentional because I sent that shit out to a lot of people, but I guess it was my low key, subconscious payback was to send you this link on the 250 celebrities you did not know was Jewish. That shit was deep. And so when I talk about, there's a video I need to show y'all. I need to find it. It was a video this guy did maybe about 6 months ago. And he was talking about how Hollywood was born. Because the founders of Hollywood were two Jewish brothers. They were Ashkenazi Jews, two Jewish brothers that founded Hollywood, like that created Hollywood. And but how the whole Zionist project was already in the works. Like the guy who I guess was the founder of Zionism, like that was some shit that he was starting on in like the late 1800s, and it was this project that was in the works, that was in play, that came to fruition when Israel was born. Yeah, Paula Abdul, I didn't know that either, right? I knew that she had like Iranian background, but I didn't know she was Jewish. Anyway, so in this piece that he did, he was talking about how Hollywood has always had almost like a marriage type relationship to the Israeli state. And he goes through like with a fine tooth comb, like the evidence for the statement that he has made is that Hollywood has always been a instrument for the perpetuation of Zionist ideology and the building of the Zionist state, and all of these actors that had been strategically used over the years since the founding of the Israeli state to pluck at the heartstrings of the general public to win like a general solidarity with the Israeli state and with the ambitions of the Israeli state. Barbara Streisand, Liza Minnelli. He starts talking. Goddamn Robert De Niro, another heartbreaking fucking thing. Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro is not Jewish, but he is a Zionist supporter. Robert De Niro, y'all. Robert De Niro. You feel me? Who I love, have loved. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Child, and they talk about the whole history, how there was a man, I can't remember his name. He's one of the 48 billionaires I was talking about that live in Israel. He has a house here in Hollywood too, but he lives in Israel full time. I can't remember the guy's name, but he before getting involved in Hollywood, he was like a double agent or some shit like that. He worked for both. I guess it's not a double agent because they have they don't have a hostile relationship. They have a symbiotic relationship. He was employed by the CIA and the Mossad. This operative working for the CIA and the Mossad becomes one of the major producers of films in Hollywood. The films that he has produced. Oh, I mentioned it in Everything That's Wrong with the World is Because Billionaires Exist. He's in that one. Because some of the movies this dude has produced, child, that we just love and are the anthems of our youth and shit. The guy that produced the movies was employed by both the CIA and the Mossad before, quote, making a name for himself in Hollywood. The way he was able to, quote, break into Hollywood to make a name for himself was he became best friends with Robert De Niro. CIA and Mossad agent, best friends with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was the one who co-signed. This my homie. He real talented. He want to get up in the film industry. I'm like, what I'm gonna do? How are we gonna detox from this shit? I can just run down the list of my favorite quotes Robert De Niro and Jeff Goldblum ever made. Like, how are we gonna detox from this shit? How I'm gonna get this shit out my brain? The 150 musicians you did not know were Jewish. I'm like, no. How am I gonna detox this shit from my motherfucking spirit? God, this shit so deep. So I always put it back into the context of this thing that this guy did about how Hollywood is an instrument of a very strategic apparatus, the Israeli state, whose only ambition is imperialism and genocidal imperialism. I did not know that, but it makes sense. Everybody's talking about the predictions of The Simpsons. Somebody was like, oh, they able to predict that shit because all they do is write the shit. Because somebody said they was in the creators of The Simpsons was tied to the Illuminati or some shit. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But she said, no, they just Jewish. I was like, goddamn, well, yep, that makes sense. All the same thing, you had me tell it. That's what I'm saying, baby. We gotta be careful out here. Because what did I tell y'all the other day? Every movie that you've ever loved, every movie that you thought was like revolutionary gangster shit, witchy empowerment, female empowerment shit, is being created by an institution that is dominated by the CIA, by Hasidic hardcore practicing Jews, and evangelical Christians. That's who runs Hollywood. Is those three institutions. And do you think that feminism is something that they are trying to win in the consciousness of human beings? Every feminist awesome movie you ever saw, go back and I'll show you how the state always wins in the end. Every witchy girl power empowering movie that you ever thought was awesome, go back and I'll tell you how the message is still the state always wins in the end. Who is the state? Men. Who is the state? Christianity. Who is the state? Judaism. Who is the state? Islam. Who is the state? Patriarchy. Who is the state? The United States government. All of them are the state. All of them are the state. Show me a movie that you thought was the most awesome shit you ever seen, and I will tell you how the message woven within it is the state always wins. No matter how empowered you feel coming out this shit, you missed it, but somebody else didn't. The state always wins. The state always wins. The state always wins. And so this shit got me reconsidering my whole life. Cloud Atlas, I love that movie so much. I love that movie so much. I love that movie. It's funny that you mentioned I was just thinking about that movie yesterday. I love that movie so much. I think it's one of the more slept on movies of the last period. Such an incredible movie. Such an incredible movie. And yes, the state wins in the end. Now, if you want me to tell you in Cliff Notes version how the state wins in the end, I can. But the state wins in the end. The state wins in the end. Yes, baby. Think about how the movie goes off. Think about how the movie goes off. The state wins in the end. You understand? State wins in the end. Y'all want to know the first movie review I ever did? Ever? It was years ago. It was when my ex-husband was in prison. And my ex-husband couldn't watch movies. Obviously, he was in prison. Like, he couldn't watch movies on demand. He could only watch movies that the prison had or whatever. Gloria Steinem and her message was a derailment from the true movement of freedom for women. Honey, she was a straight psyop. She was a straight agent. She was a straight agent. Gloria Steinem. A straight agent. You have me tell it the kind of weird ass crazy shit she threw in the mix. She wasn't an unconscious agent. If you have me tell it, after she died, it'll be revealed that her ass was on the payroll for the CIA. You can't tell me otherwise. You cannot tell me otherwise. That girl is an agent of the state. Anyway, first movie I ever did, it was a handwritten movie review to my husband when he was in prison. Because he was like, I just love the way you talk about movies. Like, you so clear. You just be breaking that shit down. So he would have me watching movies that he loved. And I'd be like, damn, I don't. The second movie review I did for him, he asked me to watch the movie and do a breakdown of it. Because he's like, I love the movie, but I think there might be stuff in there I missed or whatever. So let me tell you what the first one was. The first movie review I ever did in my whole life was a handwritten movie review of Law Abiding Citizen. Anybody remember that movie? Law Abiding Citizen. It was handwritten. I wish I still had it. Law Abiding Citizen, about the man who goes on a revenge spree because these two dudes break into his home and assault and kill his wife and child, zip tie him, so he watches the whole thing as they brutalize and kill his wife and child, his wife and daughter. And I cannot, like, I love the movie, but even if I were to rewatch, I have to fast forward through like the first 10 minutes of the movie. I can't. It's goddamn gruesome. And why people be putting shit like that in movies is beyond me, but I digress. So I did a movie review for him, and my takeaway from that movie was, no matter how good the movie is, and we love revenge movies, we love people, we love revenge, and that's like one of the best revenge movies I ever seen. And you rooting for this dude and all of this stuff, and Jamie Foxx plays the district attorney that helped these dudes get these light ass sentences and all of this shit. So he take revenge on everybody. He take revenge on the man that did the shit. He take revenge on the judge and everybody that played a role in these light sentences that these men got for doing this terrible thing. Nobody knew that his ass used to be like a goddamn, like one of them super spies, or like he used to work for the government. The guy, the Jamie Foxx's character, who was the prosecutor. I think he was the prosecutor. Yeah, he was the prosecutor. And he gave these two dudes deals. And when he started doing all this stuff, he's like, "Who is this dude?" And they put him in touch with this dude from the White House, and the dude was like, "Somebody you shouldn't have fucked with is who this dude was," right? Like, he was like, "Well, who is he?" He was like, "This is the guy that we hire if we need, a president to die and it not look like we did it. He the guy we send in. He has mastered the art of killing, right?" And so he was like, "If this dude is after you, there ain't too much you can do but get your family and try to get the hell out of Dodge," right? Anyway, that was the first movie review I ever did. But it was not even a subtle statement. The state wins in the end. The state wins in the end. I don't care what you think the level of the injustice was. I don't care how you think the system failed you. I don't care if you worked for the state wins in the end. That was the most glaring example of the state winning in the end. And then trying to like glorify it, like he, went out in a blaze of glory. At least he did his thing, went out. No, the state won at the end of that movie. Then the second movie that I did was for him was The Pursuit of Happiness. I had no intention of watching it because even the goddamn previews looked like some bullshit ass bullshit. My husband was like, "No, it's really good. You got to give it a chance. You got to see it. And I'd really be interested, in what you think about the movie." So that was the second movie review that I did. Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness. When I say trash ass trash on 100-degree day in the swamps of New Orleans. That's how bad it stunk. Trash ass trash. The Pursuit of Happiness. Trash ass trash is what it was. But I sat there and watched that bullshit and did my movie review for him. Those were the first movie reviews that I did. Anyway, the state always wins. As long as the state controls this apparatus, as long as this apparatus is developed to win something on behalf of the state at everybody else's expense, the state always wins. Name a movie, and I will show you how the state wins in the end. That's all I got to say about that. Now let me get up out of here so I can go do my civic duty and do some volunteer work today. Love you guys. I will be sending an email to you guys today to put you up on game on how to prepare for the full moon tomorrow. Those of you who live in the area, I will be sending you the details about where we're going to link up, what time, and what to bring. Okay. I will be sending that out before today's end. Okay. I have to go volunteer for a couple of hours, so it'll probably be later on tonight, like maybe around 8 or 9 or so. But I promise I will get that out to y'all today. All right. If you need my email address, if you want to participate in tomorrow's quote ritual slash conspiracy, if you're in the Los Angeles area, we're going to be doing it at a beach. I'm not going to announce the beach online. So if you want to know where and what time we're going to be meeting, email me at EvoEmeTemp EvoEmeTemp at gmail.com. Email me and I'll send you the 411. What you'll need, what the ceremony is going to entail, what you need to bring, da 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 da. You feel me? Then if you are participating online, if you're not near a body of water, salt water or fresh water, you can still do the full moon ritual because the moon is in Cancer, and it's Yemaya. So you can just use the moon as your connection to the ocean or the water. So I will send that out to you, details on how you can prepare and participate in the full moon ritual that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Okay? EvoEmeTemp at gmail.com. And I will send you the 411 before today's end. All right. Love you guys. See you guys later. I don't know when I'm doing another live, but I will let you know. Okay. See you later.